তিনটে ঠিক আছে।
3 ব্লক। তাহলে স্বরূপ স্যার 3, 5 আর 4 9 আর 3 এ 12, আমরা তাহলে 4 এই যাচ্ছি, ঠিক আছে? 12 আর 4 এ 16, তাহলে 16টা ব্লক হয়ে গেল। লেট আস ডিভাইডেড বাই 2, তাহলে 8 টা গিয়ে ক্রস করছে, ঠিক আছে? 8 টা গিয়ে, ম্যাম আই এম ড্রয়িং ইট ওভার হিয়ার, ইজ ইট ওকে?
Yes, it's okay, it's okay.
So I am counting it. We are having 16 cells, okay? 5 is for engineering, 4 is for geography, 3 is for marketing, and 4 for আমাদের নিজের বিজনেস। সো বটম লাইন হয়ে যাচ্ছে 8 আর 9 টা আমাদের মাঝখানটা বটম লাইন ধরে নিচ্ছি। উপর থেকে কাউন্টিং শুরু করছি 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 16. Now I will suggest, since this is a unanimous thing, প্রত্যেকটা গ্রুপে যদি উপরে একটা তলা আর নিচে at least একটা তলা থাকে তাহলে দেখতে সুন্দর হবে।
Absolutely.
ঠিক আছে, তাহলে র্যান্ডমলি আমরা যদি বলি তাহলে 8 এর উপরে সবাই একটা করে পাচ্ছে, 8 এর নিচে সবাই একটা করে পাচ্ছে, ঠিক আছে? ফাইনালাইজ। এইবার 8 এর উপরে যে আমাদের থাকছে, এবার 3 থেকে শুরু করি। স্বরূপ স্যার আপনার 3টেই আছে, তার মধ্যে আপনি উপরে একটা পেয়ে গেলেন, ঠিক আছে? তাহলে হ্যালো,
হ্যাঁ ঠিক আছে ওকে,
ঠিক আছে। তাহলে আপনাকে ধরুন আমরা 6 বা 7 এ আপাতত ব্লক করে দিচ্ছি, ঠিক আছে?
স্যার Pillai madam and Manisha madam, they are unable to follow, so
oh
yeah. Just a gentle reminder.
Sorry, absolutely sorry. Actually, it's a time constraint thing, so mother language.
Yes.
So mother tongue is coming.
Yeah, Pallav, what you were saying? Pallav, will you repeat?
I was trying to learn Bengali.
Oh my God.
Okay, fine. Sorry.
Pallav, will you say what you were saying? I didn't got it.
No. Actually, we were talking in our vernacular. We were communicating in our vernacular, so that's why I just reminded it.
Okay. But I'm enjoying that also. No worries.
Okay, fine. So let us continue. Okay, so we said that we are having a 16 block tower. Okay, now the middle point is between 8 and 9. We are starting one from the topmost floor. So as per the house, we decided that everyone will have one on the upper half and one on the lower half. Okay, so since Swaroop sir marketing is asking for only 3 blocks, so let us say we are closing marketing at 1 floor 7, 6 বা 7 সেটা পরে দেখে নিচ্ছি, আর আরেকটা দিয়ে দিচ্ছি আমি ধরুন 4, 12 বা 13 এর মধ্যে একটা রেট করে দিচ্ছি, ঠিক আছে স্যার? স্বরূপ স্যার ঠিক আছে, তাহলে মার্কেটিং হয়ে গেল। আর এইবার তারপরে আসছে সন্দীপ আর বিজনেস। সন্দীপ,
হ্যাঁ
3 বলে ফেলো তোমার 4টে, উপরে একটা নিচে একটা আপাতত বলো, তারপরে পয়েন্ট গুলো নিচ্ছি।
হ্যাঁ, আমাদের একটা জিনিস করতে পারো, যে যেখানে রাখছো আমাদের ওখানে পরপর দুটোকে দিয়ে দাও। নিচের দিক থেকেও দিতে পারো 8 এর উপরে, ধরো 8 এর পরে 9 10 দিয়ে দিলে, আর ওইদিকে নিচের দিক থেকে তুমি আবার 1 2 দিয়ে দিলে, এরকম ভাবে করতে পারো।
না, একটা উপরে একদম, 1 ইজ
এক উপরে একদম। আচ্ছা, এক মানে সবার উপরে। আচ্ছা, তাহলে যদি উপর থেকে নামো তাহলে মোটামুটি
আমি বলছি তোমার জন্য আমি
It's almost time 11:30.
Okay, ma'am.
So you start making the tower.
Okay, I am making it and then asking for it.
হ্যাঁ, বানাতে দেখো। হ্যাঁ,
সন্দীপ তোমাকে আমি 4-5 দিলাম পরপর,
ঠিক আছে।
গ্রিন আর নিচের দিকে তোমাকে পরপর দিতে হবে, তাই তো?
আমাকে পাশাপাশি দিতে পারো। হ্যাঁ,
তাহলে 13 14 করে দিলাম,
ঠিক আছে।
আর এবার সন্দীপ হয়ে গেল। পল্লব স্যার, ইঞ্জিনিয়ারিং 5 পিস আছে আপনার? আমার মনে বলুন স্যার, 5 পিস আছে আমার মনে হয়। 3 6 7 8 9 10 টাকা নেবেন কি না একদম নিচ থেকে প্রথম দুটো নেবেন? 15 16 বলুন স্যার।
5 blocks you are providing, right?
Yes, 5 blocks.
So at least 3 of them should be at the
upper side. I am giving 3 of them on the upper side itself.
It should be somewhere at the mid of the tower. At least 2
1 at the top, 2 at the mid. ঠিক আছে?
Yes.
আমি বলছি 3 নম্বর দিয়ে দিলাম একটা অরেঞ্জ, আর 7 8 দিয়ে দিলাম, মাঝখানেও থাকছে ব্যাপারটা।
Fine.
ঠিক আছে, আর এদিকে 15 16 দিয়ে দিলাম, ঠিক আছে?
Agreed.
চলো, তাহলে আমি বাকি থাকছি ব্লু। তাহলে 8 হয়ে গেল, 4 8 32 লাখ। Okay, now let us start building. Blue. Is it visible, my this PPT?
Yes.
তারপরে GG, ল্যাপটপের মাউস প্যাডে আর ও 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 ঠিক আছে আর আপনারা একটু কাউন্ট গুলো গুনে নেবেন হ্যাঁ 5 6 যে কাউন্ট গুলো বলছিলেন একটু গুনে নেবেন আমি হাতে লিখেছি তো স্পিডে
5 or more blocks will switch.
জি জি ও ও Fine. So this is what is standing. Shahrukh marketing is red. Sandip geography is green. Engineering is orange. Business is blue. So business it is coming 4 towers. Marketing 3 towers. Geography 4 towers. Orange 5 towers. That's it, ma'am.
আচ্ছা
হ্যাঁ
এক সেকেন্ড আর একটা যদি বাড়ানো যায় তাহলে কি
তোমরা
cost
আরেকটা
একটু-
বাড়াবে বলছো
হ্যাঁ যদি 5 করা যায় তাহলে কি খুব কস্ট বেড়ে যাবে কি হচ্ছে কস্টে
মানে এটা হচ্ছে বেস্ট বাজেট একবারে স্যাংশন হবে এর পরে হলে রাউন্ড টেবিলের থ্রু দিয়ে যেতে হবে
আমাদের 5 জন হলে কি 5টা হলে খুব ভালো হতো
মানে আমাদের
সাপোর্টিভ হতো
5টা হলে খুব ভালো হতো
হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ
আমাদেরও
কিন্তু
5টা
আমিও
হলে
ট্রেড
ভালো
অফে
হতো।
এসেছি
আমি সেটাই বলছি আমি মানে 5টা ধরো এখানে যদি নিয়ে মানে আমাদের 6টা অবধি অ্যাকসেপ্টেবল কিন্তু
রাইট
মানে এবার তুমি যা বলো দেখো তোমার বাজেট আমি এখানে অ্যাড করি
ঠিক আছে ঠিক আছে দেখা যাক বাজেটটা কি হচ্ছে হ্যাঁ
হ্যাঁ বিজনেসের কালারটা কোনটা বিজনেস
বিজনেস ব্লু
বিজনেসের
বিজনেস
কালার
ব্লু
ব্লু
ব্লু জিওগ্রাফি ইঞ্জিনিয়ারিং অরেঞ্জ 5টা আছে
হ্যাঁ কিন্তু বিজনেস দুটো তো পর পর হয়ে গেল
আমি বাকি ছিল যেখানে স্যার যা দেওয়ার পর বাকি ছিল বিজনেস ওখানে দিয়েছি
See, now it's over. Now it's over. So just tell me whether you have been able to do a win-win situation or win-lose situation or lose-lose situation or zero outcome situation. So now I'll share my screen again. I'll share my screen. It's
I am
over.
stopping the sharing, ma'am. I am
Yeah,
stopping
the
the
game is over now. So I have taken this and I'll now share my screen.
Yeah, is it,
See, this was the thing. So you have already, so is it visible, my screen?
yes ma'am yes
Yeah, so this is the thing that you have done, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 blue blocks. Blue means it is the business. Then orange 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 blocks of orange. 5 blocks of orange. Orange or yellow, it's engineering. Then 4 blocks of green, it is geography. And red blocks, 3 blocks, only 3 blocks.
marketing?
It's marketing. So this is the thing that we have been able to do. And now I will show you an effective solution. Basically, this is the effective solution. If you appreciate that we will be using the site number 5 and popularity point is it's a marketing's first choice and others second choice, right? So you are starting in January. It's engineering's first choice and others second choice. Duration will be 80. Geography's first choice and others second choice. Money you can see. This is in INR. So this is business first choice and others second choice. And colors, you know, everyone's choice we have
Second
seen.
choice.
Yes. So this is the effective solution. And you can see this is the block that we can have. Like all of them are having 4 blocks. Each of them will be having 4 blocks. So green on the top and at the bottom 3 blocks. Red from the top 4 blocks. Then followed by 1 blue block. And there will be 3 blue blocks above green from the bottom. And orange and yellow, these are for the engineering. This is the logo of the engineering.
It can
So
be completely orange also, what they have
Can be
done.
completely orange, completely yellow also, and a mixture of orange and yellow also, as per the document that you have got. So why we call it the effective solution? Because everyone will keep their job, everyone gets something they can live with, and you can complete a tower. So the tower actually will be 16 blocks high. You also have given a 16 blocks high tower, but your site is not matching with the effective solution. And the color pattern of the tower can be made to suit all your actually whatever is given in your document. So this is the solution. You can find that it's a different from whatever you have done here. Blue on the top, but
Green,
green at the bottom and at the top. It was mentioned. So like that, all are having 4 blocks, but here reds are 3 blocks, and orange is having 5 blocks. So that way, I think your cost also increases, and that way this is actually you have done brainstorming also, and I think you have loved this game. So I have few questions for you. What did we learn and achieve from this? Whether it was a win-win outcome or a lose-lose outcome or an incomplete outcome. What do you think? Diganto, what do you think? Was it an what you have done?
Now, whatever I have studied and written, if I start from the first, let us start from business part itself. If it is business, then as per our document, it is 32 lakhs 16 towers. And if we are going for 4 blocks, then that is 32 lakhs 4 into 32, because we are having 6 plus 2 labor costs. Okay, so it is a win-win for us. Next, our site, had it been site 3, it would have been very good for us because our first preference was site 3. But from the beginning itself, I didn't go for the first preference because I knew everyone will start for the first preference and there might be a clash. So I already started with the second preference of mine. And I saw that not only myself, Pallav also started with the second preference. I don't know about Sondip, but I think Sondip also started with the second preference. I hope so. And Swarup sir was having 4 and he started with 5. So I hope that 5 was his first preference. But then he started with 4. So that means I think the 4 was his second preference. And so there comes only one person who was his first preference. I think that is win-win. For us also it is win-win. Now, if we go for the construction time, then for us, end February would have been fantastic, and 80 units of construction time. 80 units in 1 month. Now, everyone was agreed on the 80 units part, approximately 75 to 80 units. So I think it is almost win-win with everyone. 80 units is 80 duration. So it was almost okay with everyone. So in that also, there might be some clash between January to March, when to start and when to end. So whenever we can start and whenever we can end. If it is from January, it is not good for us because for us favorable is the end of February. Okay, but for January we will be having some discounts. It was written over there also. We will be having some concessions. So even if we are not doing on favorable month, we are having some concessions. And since we are not constructing the building on the marshy land, so I think that will be a win-win situation for our budgeting also.
Did you okay. And a few other questions are there. What leadership styles have you used? Did you apply team working? Did you consult, share, give information? Yes. So all these I will share with you one self-evaluation form. So today I'm going to share one feedback form for the entire workshop 3, as well as one self-evaluation for this win-win leadership game. So all of you must download it, write it down and upload. So I request Shumanto to share the Google link where you will be uploading the files by 2 o'clock. So I have to send this to AICTE. Okay. And this one for others, I think these are the questions that they will ask you in the self-evaluation form. And I hope you had the leader and the coordinator, and you definitely planned a negotiating strategy, then work, then managing time. You can see that we could manage the time, but it was really difficult for us to manage because it is a virtual platform, and creating the breakout rooms and keeping one out of the breakout room and entering that person in another breakout room, it is quite cumbersome. But anyway, we tried to do it, and hope you would appreciate it, the effort of all the master trainers and all the participants also as a whole. We as a whole, as a unit, we could actually form this win-win leadership game, and we could actually conduct this game properly with the help from all the master trainers and all the participants. So this is the self-evaluation. I will give you the form, and it will you have to reflect on your own performance throughout the activity. Complete the self-evaluation document, focusing on your mainly your leadership styles. How did you handle the data? Whether you did teamwork, whether you communicated well with your team members and with other team, and then what was the decision that you made, and what emotional intelligence component you used while doing this exercise, and what was the strategic planning that you used. So that is all about this game. Thank you very much. If you have any question, you can ask.
Madam, I actually missed what we have to make. We have to make this entire presentation, right? And send by today.
No presentation, not presentation. I will send you
You
one.
have to fill the form.
Just fill up the form.
Okay.
It's a fill up the form. You can either type it or you can write it on with pen and then take the photograph and can upload in the Google. Shumanta, I request Shumanta to paste the Google form link here.
Ma'am, do we have to submit the recording sheet, win-win game analysis on those? We have to submit it or?
Yeah. Recording sheet. No. Evaluation only. Recording sheet.
No, recording sheet you do not need to have. I will give you the recording sheet. The actual what is actually required. I will post in the Google Classroom.
And the PPT also not required. That we designed the tower.
No, it is already formed. If the game is over, the game is over. Only you will be required to fill up the self-evaluation form for this win-win game. And there is one feedback form like all the other workshops. For workshop 3 also, there will be a feedback form. You please fill up the feedback form. Do not mention the name of the master trainers. Only mention the sessions. Only mention the session names. You know the session names, you mention those. And mostly we had the presentation sessions and three master classes. One is a win-win, this today's game, and the second one was a growth mindset, and the first one was
Difficult
conversation. So you know the sessions. Do not mention the name of the trainers. Just they want to know how the sessions went, whether they went well or any improvement is required. So that is all for now. And now we have some time. So we will be having 2 more presentations. One is of Sandeep, and the other one, who is the other one?
Dr. Pallab Roy.
Dr. Pallab. So who will be presenting initially? Pallab Roy?
As per the schedule given, I am supposed to present.
Oh, you are. You please share your screen then.
Just a minute. Just a minute.
Ma'am, where the link will be given?
Actually, I will post it in the Zoom session. Yeah.
I will post the forms, 2 forms, the feedback form and the self-evaluation form in the classroom.
Okay.
Shumanta, are you posting it in the chat window of Zoom?
Actually, I thought that after this session I will post it. So okay, I can say post
No,
it
you
now.
share it now. I am sharing it now.
Okay.
The 2 forms.
So I am posting it here.
Okay.
Okay, may I start, madam?
Yeah, you can start. Just give me 2 minutes. I'll just post it.
So, madam, I have already posted in the chat box.
Okay. I'm posting it. Just give me 2 minutes. All of you can find, I have posted the self-evaluation form and the feedback survey. So through this Google link, you post it. You upload the files after filling it up. Yes, Dr. Pallav, you can start.
Okay. A very good morning to all. You can see this is my change project, initiation and execution of judicious planning to attain tangible incremental growth in multifold aspects in the Department of Mechanical Engineering. So myself, Dr. Pallav Roy, presenting whatever has been carried out in this project for the last around 3 months. So briefly about my workplace, BBIT. It's a self-financing college, and diploma, undergraduate and postgraduate courses in engineering and technology are offered. And about the Department of Mechanical Engineering, this is the 12th year of the department, and I'm happy to announce that it is emerging as one of the most sought after, you can say, it's an institute, and particularly this department is in demand for the last few years. So apart from the traditional teaching, we also prepare our students to focus their attention in the research areas. So let me go to the next slide. This is my project, initiation and execution of judicious planning to attain tangible incremental growth in multifold aspects in Department of Mechanical Engineering. Now, this project is aimed to achieve an incremental growth, or you can call it as an enhancement in the traditional way of the teaching learning. Now, how is it possible? Just by changing the actions of all the stakeholders. I mean, it is not only the students, it is not only the teachers, but all the others associated. Their actions needs to be changed, and thereby changing the overall culture and actions of the entire association. Then only we can achieve the incremental growth step by step. So this was the primary aim. I mean, to assimilate the fundamental teaching and management techniques, existing upgrading exertions and technical tools under a methodical approach. Now, how to judge that whether the incremental growth is achieved or not? So for that, some technical tools needs to be applied. So this was the aim of this project. Moving on to the next slide. So what are the scopes for improvement, or what are the scopes under this project taken? So I have jotted down 6 points over here. You can see, to seek for assurance and involvement of the administration to provide long-standing top-to-bottom administrative support. So when I'm trying to implement something, when I'm trying to bring some changes, so naturally I need the administration to be by my side and to provide me all the administrative supports needed to implement it. Now, the second is to create an environment of steady focus on the students' overall growth, both academically and ethically. You know, to create an environment which will be suitable for all, it is not only the academic growth of the students, but parallelly the moral values, the ethics needs also to be developed. So the third scope is effective involvement of deployment of the entire workforce. Now we have discussed a number of times about this, that you have a complete workforce out of which 60% or 50% are getting utilized. The rest of the percentages, either they are not willing to get themselves involved, or you are unable to get the best out of them. So the effective involvement and deployment of the workforce is also another scope to improve. The fourth one is continuous improvement of the culture and academic processes. Now, improvement can never be a short-term process. It should be continued forever. So that is the next scope. And fifth is addressing the students' grievances and planning for moving towards zero grievance status. So may that take time, but we need to know that where the shoe actually pinches. So addressing the students' grievances was another thing that I kept on my mind while deciding about this project. And finally, establishing the performance measures for the processes. So lastly, in my project, I wanted to measure that whether the tangible incremental growth that I went for was actually achieved or not. So these are the scopes. Now, moving on to the next slide. So these are the objectives. I will just briefly go through. It's a continual activity which should be entrenched in the culture. You need to listen to the voice of the students. You need to achieve excellence. I mean, it will be a department-wide challenge, and it will be everyone's responsibility. It will not be a responsibility of a single person, because you are going to change the behavior, you are going to change the culture. That is your objective. People must not only do their part of the jobs properly, but they also should think that how to improve. This is my another objective. There must be a continual striving to improve all the processes. The focus should be on quality teaching, development of awareness about contemporary ideas, and execution of students' projects while addressing their problems and finding for feasible solutions. Now, the fifth point that I have mentioned over here, that over the last couple of years, we were not in a position to help the students to come out with good quality projects. Now, because the things are getting normalized once again, so emphasis on the execution of students' project is another prior objective of mine in this project. And at the same time, to make the students aware about the contemporary ideas, because we know that the demarcation is turning thinner and thinner day by day. It is not only mechanical engineering. Nowadays, data science, IoT, all these things are equally needed for the mechanical engineers to know. So the contemporary ideas awareness development is another objective. And the sixth one is the performance measures should be determined for each functional part. These measures I would like to make visible to all the concerned, all the stakeholders. And there must be quantifiable data which will be recorded to measure that how much how much was my success to get the progress in my movement. So these were the objectives. Now, going fast to the next one. So this is the justification. You can see that we want to move towards a quality academic environment, and with such an environment, we can surely change the competitive position, because nowadays, because we are the self-financed institutes, we are already in a competition. I mean, the admission of the students in a particular department or a particular institute, there is competition. So in order to cope up with that, we need to create a quality environment in the department, which in turn will surely increase the throughput. Okay, and at the same time, it will reduce the discontent at every level of the institute or every level of the department. So this series of actions will surely allow the department to finally reach to its objectives at in a much easier way. Okay, and at the same time, one prior issue that I always personally feel that we need to activate the idle workforce. We need to activate the idle workforce, and thereby the overall effect will be that everyone will be satisfied. No one will feel like that I am only working, he is keeping, sitting idle, and that will surely give rise to a cultural change, which will be substantial, and it is achievable over a period of time. So, it will take much longer duration, but we can at least try, to start the process. So these are the justifications for taking this kind of project. So just a minute. So I went through the previous records and I generated some of the records, like the students' attendance. For all the years, means second year, third year, final year, for all of them. So I reviewed along with my team that how far the students have progressed with their existing ongoing projects. Okay, I talked to the TPO cell and gathered the status of the training and placement. Generally, I used to get all these data, but because after taking, the responsibility of executing this project, I personally went there, I talked to them, and I gathered the data for some other analytical purposes. So the departmental committees are there, but once in a blue moon we meet together and we decide or we review that how much those departmental committees have acted. Now here, this time I generated the report personally to know that how far the departmental committees are really active. Now mentorship program is already there, but whether those mentorship programs are really very effectively applied or not. So I reviewed that. I reviewed the class conduction. Now parallelly it was qualitative as well as quantitative. That means talked to the students, got their feedback that whether they are satisfied with the quality, and instead of directly asking them, some questionnaires were distributed and the data was generated, and at the same time the quantitative review was also done, how many classes taken, how many extra classes taken, all these things. Now the last one was the review of the academic upgradation of the faculty members. Now there are people who are working there for the last 10 years or 12 years, some of them are, but if you ask that whether they have upgraded themselves academically, then it is found that there are certain areas which needs to be improved. So this is the analysis and finding. After going through the attendance record, I found that it is really a matter of concern. Over the last 1.5 years or 2 years specifically, there is a, what should I say, that there is a typical declination or downfall you can see in the attendance record. So the project progress report, this revealed that not all the team members are equally active. Some of them, maybe 1 or 2, are actually working, and the rest are not at all getting involved, and that is causing stress onto the others who are actually working. So that needs to be solved. Next, the review of the students' training and placement data. This also revealed the fact that the students are not actually knowing, they are not actually aware about the requirements of the industry, by the industry at this very hour, and they are not also prepared for those needs. So the fourth one is, it has been perceived that some of the departmental committees, they are working very well, they are carrying out their responsibilities very nicely, but that is not true for all of them. Some of the other committees are performing below the expectation. Next. The next finding was the mentorship programs, even though it is there, but there is no strong mentor-mentee bond in all the cases, and that is causing the dissatisfaction at some places, and that needs to be immediately taken care of. It should be reinforced instantaneously. And after going through the class conduction review, it was exposed that there are irregularities in some of the cases. And for example, you are not expecting from a person that he or she will be so irregular, but when you are actually going through the review, you are finding that some people have already make it a practice. The irregularity is a part of their life, as if. And the seventh part is review of the academic upgrading. So as I mentioned before, that there are people who are working for a long duration, but they are not upgrading themselves academically. So they should be motivated to do so. There should be planning for involvement in the, authorized research work. Research work which is accepted by some authority or it is accredited. So these are the findings done. Next, that's how I finally arrived to the planning of the project, that I should motivate the students, not only me, but as a whole, my team, my department should motivate the students to come to the classes. Okay. And that is also only possible through constant communication to them. And we need to break the barrier. What is the barrier? That we know that we follow inertia. We prefer the position we are in. So over the last 1.5 years, they got habituated to learn or get educated at the comfort zone of their, within the four walls at their home. So now when we are trying to bring them out once again back to the what was earlier normal, they are feeling the inertia. They are providing resistance, and we need to break that barrier. Now, the project's progress, when we reviewed, we decided that there should be periodical reviews to be done along with the highest authority at the departmental level as well as the institutional level. Now, this time, as I was telling before, we have introduced IoT, data science, 3D printing, all these subjects, obviously on the basis of the choice, because there was provision for offering these subjects. We talked to the students, we made them understand that why they should learn all these subjects, how fast the things are changing, and they gladly accepted. The fourth one, to communicate the message of executing. Hello, am I connected?
Yes,
Hello?
yes, we can hear you. We can
Okay, fine. To communicate the message of executing the responsibilities properly through the head of the institute and asking for periodic report of execution. Now, wherever the committees are concerned, it is sometimes it may happen that the head cannot always ask them for each and every other reports or whether they are executing their responsibilities properly or not. So that's why I went to the head of the institute. I had a conversation with him and made it sure that he will be asking for periodic report of the execution done by them. So the next part of the project plan was the mentor-mentee bond should immediately be strengthened and it should be made effective. And that's why, let me tell you that I am the timetable coordinator of the institute. So this time, once again, we have introduced the mentoring hours in the timetable so that teachers will remain free at that time, students will remain free at that time, and they will get the opportunity to communicate with each other. So the sixth point is to remind about the fulfillment of academic ethics to specific persons through the academic head. I'm not talking about all of them. There are very few cases who sometimes need to be, it is necessary to remind them that they are in such a profession where some academic ethics needs to be followed, needs to be satisfied. So this was, this is to be done by a direct interaction at personal level, and then after a direct interaction, a vis-a-vis interaction with the academic head. And the last thing that I planned is to motivate the faculty members for upgrading themselves, just to make them understand that what is the demand from AICTE, what are the demands from the other I mean regulatory authorities, and why they should immediately upgrade themselves. So well, these things were executed over the last 3 months. There is nothing to show. I have not prepared any video. I'll just show you whatever. So communication, how I communicated. So the initial communication about this project was personally to the head of the academics as well as to the head of the administration. I went there, I talked to them, I made them understand why this project and what I am trying to do. Then after talking to them, some notifications were communicated, which was in a very conventional way. So I mean, maybe in the printed form, sometimes in the form of a mail to all the faculty members, to all the departments, after I received the approval of execution of my plan from the highest authority, or you can say the appropriate authority. Third, the communication wherever the students were concerned was done in the form of notifications again, or maybe through the Google Classrooms. And you know, there are WhatsApp groups for each and every other year right now. So through those groups, I communicated to them. Now, challenges. To talk about the challenges, well, surely we know that we are comfortable with our current situation and we are satisfied with the amount of teaching or learning. I mean, if I'm a student, I'm satisfied with the amount of learning I got. If I am an academician, I'm satisfied with my amount of teaching I'm providing. So the concepts realize that the perception, I am believing that the other side is satisfied. So this was a challenge. This was really a challenge. So when I'm trying to change a culture, it is a challenge and it requires patience and years. But this is the first step. And if I can continue this, I will surely someday, it will surely bring something good for the department. Individuals resist changes. They become habituated to doing a certain practice. So in order to develop a process, it needs to measure the effect of improvement ideas, but access to data and rapid response. You know, when you are asking for the data from a certain section, you will feel that there is a delay. I mean, you will experience that there might be a delay in some cases. So until and unless you get the data, you cannot plan it properly. So the access to the data and the rapid response, which was very much necessary for effective implementation of this plan, I found that this was another challenge. Now, moving on to the next slide, overcoming the challenge. So this was only through interactions. I mean, there was no other possible way out except communication, repeated communication. So I did that with the concerned and to make them understand that what will be the short-term benefit, what will be the long-term benefit of implementing these ideas. And this transformation, you know, it can only begin when there will be awareness that why this facility must be improved and what will be a better way to run a process. Okay, so that's how to some extent I was successful in overcoming the challenges. Now, what were the outcomes? So these are all realistic data. I have just jotted down in a few lines. There is an average increase of 20% attendance over the span of time since when I started implementing this project, and particularly for second year students, you know, they are still at the initial level of their degree, so it was easier to make them understand, and there is a 30% increase in the average attendance compared to the earlier status. Now, the project execution, there was a lot of emphasis provided, and by now 50% of all the ongoing projects for the final year students are over, and in some cases 70 to 80% work is already done, and it is expected that by the end of this month or maybe by the end of the next month, almost 100% work will be done for many of them. So the third outcome is acceptance of newly introduced requirement of time subjects by 100% students. Okay. I personally, along with my other faculty members, talked to the final year students. We held Google Meets and made them understand. We completely explained them what is there in IoT, what is there in data science, what is there in 3D printing, and why these things are needed, how the world is getting changed, why the smart cities are coming up. We made them understand, and believe me, that 100% of them have accepted the new ideas, even though those subjects are very much related to the other departments. They have accepted those subjects. And the fourth outcome, except a few glitches, all the rest of the coordinating committees are found to carrying out their responsibilities to the best possible. There are still glitches. I will not exaggerate, but there are still glitches, but probably with a few more rounds of the implementation, someday even those will also not be there. And okay, I'm almost about so this is the fifth outcome. Mentor-mentee bond is improving, and that is in turn improving solving of the difficulties. Okay, so the students are developing a belongingness for the institute, for the department, which is very much necessary. But I have not quantified that, how much satisfied they are. So I have not quantified that, but surely someday I will be in a position to do that. And the regularity of conduction of classes, after reminding people about their professional ethics, still now it has been observed that 100% of the classes in some cases are going perfectly, and for some cases a very minor deficiencies has been observed. Hopefully those will also be not there in near future. And out of the total strength, exactly 25%, exactly 25% of the faculty members this time. This may be a coincidence. This may be a coincidence because they might have started the process of getting into PhD much before I communicated to them. But it's a fact that 25% of the faculty members this time started their PhD work, and 10% of them went for their postdoc program. So if the trend continues, I mean, the department will be a better place sooner or later. So moving on to the leadership approaches. Well, I have not gone through the conventional things, but these are very much related to the management approaches that we have learned over the years. So you first create your aim, you first create your purpose, you decide your purpose and make it public. You publish it among your stakeholders. Let them know what you are trying to do, how you are trying to do, why you are trying to do. Okay, put first things first. So you prioritize what should be done first, and it should be logical that why you are doing it. Then seek first to understand, then to be understood. You first realize that what is the process, what you are going to do, what you are trying to achieve, what will be the steps to be followed, what are the tools to be applied, how the tools to be applied. Then if you communicate to the others, you will be in a better position to make them understand. So you seek first to understand, then to be understood. And remember that improvement, targeting for the quality is a constant process. It's a forever process for the system. Okay, you institute training, so you establish training in your department, in your institute. So until and unless you train people, they will not be run parallelly with you. You will not be able to achieve your target. So encourage education and self-improvement. Everyone requires improvement of his or her own. So you give them the scope to self-improve them. You encourage education. You make them understand that whatever pain they are taking, that is for their own betterment. And in turn, that will do better for the I mean, that will do good for the department as well as the institute, and take action to accomplish the transformation. So just don't dream about the transformation. You act as a leader, you act as an executor to accomplish the aim and your purposes. So probably this will be my last slide. Yes, this was my last slide. Thank you so much for your patient hearing. And if there are any questions, please ask. May I stop sharing?
Yeah, you can do that.
Thank you.
Dr. Pallav, what I observed was that what you've done is try to completely rehaul or change the system of working, isn't it? That is the entire thing. So to bring out concrete outcomes would take some time. But my suggestion was that if you had quantified at least certain things and done some analysis, creating rubrics, it would have been better. That was one suggestion that I have. And otherwise, what you have presented is trying to bring a paradigm shift in your, is it in your department or the entire organization?
No, ma'am, it is typically in my department for the
Only
time.
your department, okay. So you're talking about departmental committees. What committees do you mean? Can you just give me an example of something?
There are project coordination committee, there are training and placement cell committee, there is timetable committee, there is exam cell committee. Around 16 committees are there, but unfortunately not equally effective.
Okay. So that was my suggestion, because there's no quantifiable, tangible result. This is like, but yes, the process you have initiated, and as you said, it takes time. So this is a good idea what you've come up with, and you have shown some results, like there is a improvement in attendance, faculty upgradation and academics has been improved. So all that is there, but these are not measurable whether it has happened in 3 months. Anyway, this was a good presentation. Moya?
Yeah, Dr. Pallav, I find your presentation very good. You have reviewed 7 different points in your department, and but I fail to understand how you have improved the attendance of the students or upgradation of the teachers, academic performance or research or any other. So can you just enumerate on that?
Okay. So after talking to the head of the institution, in my institution, he is Director General Academics. So what we decided that we will first talk to the class teachers who are the mentors as well. So we gave them this responsibility, we assigned this responsibility to them to communicate with the students. And if within 1 or 2 weeks, the response is not so good, then directly to talk to their parents. So some of the faculty members engaged the technical assistants to get this done. So they called them up, and this time the communication was in a very, very gentle manner. I mean, it was not like, I mean, you must come to classes like that. So it was in a gentle way. We instructed them that to make them understand that why they should come to the classes, and this was done over a period of time of 3 weeks. Exactly 3 times the communication was being made. So we generated every time that how many of them after a single call turned up to the classes. And one more thing I would like to say, that it was again a coincidence that we shifted from the online to offline mode. So that might have contributed a little to the improvement of the attendance. But from our side, we made calls, the mentors talked to them, made them understand about the necessity to attend the classes. And at the same time, for some of these students, it was also communicated that if they keep remaining absent from the classes over a long duration of time, then what problems they may finally face, in which case we will not be in a position to help them out.
No, what are those parameters? Can you just tell, like attending classes and not attending classes? How will they be benefited? You know, students do not want to attend class. Most importantly, they want to attend the lab classes and they attend less of the theoretical classes. But how did you inspire them, motivate them to come to the classes? What was the parameter that you used to, did you use some sort of rewarding technique or some sort of, any point you remember?
Rewarding techniques, you know, madam, I'm very frankly and
Rewarding
honestly
in the
telling you
sense
that,
of, in the sense giving them some marks or something like that sort of that sort.
well, once upon a time it was there, but I don't want to, mention about all those things. You know, there are situations where they are knowing that out of 25, how much they are going to get. The things have changed over the years. So there we are a little bit of handicapped right now. I mean, if we tell them that they will be awarded with the marks, they are not going to believe in that, because they will be knowing that the trend is that they automatically will be getting it. So that we have not mentioned about the marks and all. We have not mentioned anything. It was a simple communication that why the subjects are needed, why a regularity is needed, and if a group of people is coming to the class someday, and if another group is coming to the class the other day, then there will be a gap getting created that will slow down the process of coverage of syllabus, what kind of difficulties the teacher will face, what kind of difficulties the other students will face. General communication was being done, because very honestly, I'm telling you that those, those promises about the rewarding of marks and all, nowadays are no more applicable. At least I don't know about all the institutes, but in some of them, once upon a time it was that if I am scoring 5, I will be getting 5. If I am scoring 25, I will be getting 25. But things got changed. Even if I score 5, finally I will be getting something else. And if I score 23, anyway, we have talked about these things at different levels, number of times, and got no solution still now. So it was a general communication, ma'am. No such reward based communication it was.
Okay, thank you. It was a good presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Anybody has anything to ask him? Manisha, do you have anything to ask him?
No, it's okay. Pranav, it was a good presentation, good one. Nice efforts by you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, so Sandeep, now you get ready.
Yeah.
Madam, Madam, one question I have. That is the self-evaluation part which you have given. Shall we write the names there, because no position is there for writing the name?
It's up to you. It is up to you.
Okay, okay. If we want, we can write.
Yeah,
If we
you
want.
can write.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, this is the final last presentation, I think, right?
Yes, ma'am. I'm sharing my screen.
Yeah.
We will complete this presentation by 1 o'clock. After that, from 1 to, how much time should we give Sandhya for the quiz?
I think immediately after this presentation,
Yes, I will post the link. Yeah,
and maximum 15 minutes. I think
15
not
minutes,
even that. 10 minutes would do, I think.
10 minutes. So
Yeah.
I'll post it at 1. So 1
Yeah.
to 1:10. After that, I'll close the responses. And after that, there will be plenary and workshop. So we'll wrap up by 1:30, 1:40.
Yeah. Let's try to wrap up by 1:30.
Yes.
because I need to go to college immediately.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm starting. Right now, I'm not having the camera with my screen, but I can join separately from mobile such that I'm visible also. So I'm just joining from the mobile also again. I'm there already through mobile.
You can keep your camera on.
I'm not having the camera in this setup, so I'm separately joining. 449290, right? 9290. Okay. Okay, is it visible properly? Because I
Yeah.
find that because that is a PDF, this is hindering my screen actually, and
Yeah,
there
we can
is
see everything. We can see.
It's clear.
okay, but now are you able to see this thing? I mean, this bar. The bar is coming in front of my presentation actually.
Which bar?
This stop sharing bar, ये जो that bar जो आता है ना नीचे वो
It's not coming.
No, no. You can just scroll it and move it away.
okay, it's not going actually. I've tried, but okay, no problem. I think I'm visible also from the other side. Yeah. Huh. Hello.
Yes, please continue.
Okay. Okay. So I'd like to start my change project presentation. Myself, Dr. Sandeep Ghosh from the Department of Mechanical Engineering, JS College of Engineering, Kalani. The topic of my change project is bridge the communication gaps and connect the industry. Well, this has been a topic of interest to me from the very beginning of my joining into this academics. And I found that the problem of communication is probably the most prominent problem that has been faced by various type of students. It is not a problem of only Bengal, but in any place, wherever a student starts his study, and he is somehow or other forced to detach from his mother tongue, then the communication gap starts. And this communication gap already initially starts from the speaking of the other language, for example, English, but actually it moves on to the stage of higher level of communication skills, for example, the interpersonal skills, or how exactly he's communicating with the entire world. The whole thing comes, and the anxiety and the problems which is there inherent inside a person, that becomes a big factor when he is ultimately coming to this professional world. For example, if we know about, if we think about the campusing that we anticipate in an engineering branch, because most of us is associated with engineering, so definitely there is a big issue of communication whenever somebody is facing an interview. So to check this problem, if we start from the 7th semester or 8th semester, or if we do some grooming session, if we provide some seminar class or some GD session at the last time, or just before the process starts, it is not enough, never enough. It is actually a continuous practice that must be there, that is properly absorbed by a student from the very beginning. That is the reason why the communication classes are also included in the first year levels in almost all curriculums. But the problem is many times it is lost. If we see the second year, third year curriculums, in many places, the strong object or the time for giving communication or practice communication is very less as far as included in most of the curriculums. So it is very much necessary to really include things to some mandatory basis, such that they do things on a regular way, such that the communication practice is not certain issue to be taught in the 6th semester, 7th semester. Rather, it is a practice that should be always inherited throughout the time. Rather, the process of making yourself better in the communication, making yourself more comfortable in communicating, technical, non-technical, social, and all other type of things should be there. And nowadays, we know we're at the 21st century, and definitely this is a place where there is no way to avoid communication. The whole process is actually communication. Before starting the whole thing, I would like to thank Sandha ma'am to help me out this morning, because I I forgot this presentation at my home, and she actually helped me to get this PDF back. So thank you, ma'am. I'm going to the next slide. Is it moving? Oh, it's not moving. My God. Hello. Is it coming up?
No,
Now is it showing?
no.
Your screen is not shared now.
Okay. 1 second. Where is it gone? Now is it coming up?
Yeah.
Yeah. This bar actually is creating me problem. Okay, I'm coming back. So first of all, talking about my institution, JS College of Engineering is the first autonomous institute in West Bengal, and it has got the NAC A grade. It has got NRF ranking of 2,200 to 250 band in this year, last year. It's NBA Tier 1 accredited department. 4th NBA Tier 1 accredited department is here, and we're having QS ranking. We have got MSME incubator. We have got various student chapters in IEEE and IEI, and we have nodal center of for training and development. We are having internship abroad, and we are having a 4-star ranked institution innovation council also. So we are running out currently 8 BTech programs, 4 MTech programs, BBA and MBA programs, as well as 2 diploma programs in mechanical and electrical engineering. This is a green campus pictures that is with us, and we really enjoy being here. It's just a glimpse of that. But the most important feature of our college is flipped learning, which is a innovative learning method that is almost known to everybody now. And it was primarily started by our late principal, previous principal, and who is late Dr. Molaya Dave, who actually communicated directly with the AICTE chairman to really bring the change in forefront. And being the JS College of Engineering being the first institute, fully flipped institute recognized by AICTE in 2018. And to do that, we had to change a lot. And the main objective of this change was the lack of communication skills in most of the students from the very beginning to the end, because this change was primarily required at every level. And that was understood by our principal sir. And he made this change possible by a long process, by having a huge infrastructure in our college, by building multiplex, by digital studios, the flipped classrooms specially dedicated for this kind of classes. Also the exam pattern also he was trying to change. But all these things were required because the human skills are in demand, as the most important skills in the next century is the communication skills, as you can see in this picture. Like memory skills are less required. Computer and text skills still can be managed by computers, which is 50% required. But the more important skills are human skills, which are in current demand, like 77% communication, 75% listening, critical thinking skills have 74%, interpersonal skill has 73%. And all these things, if it is lost for first, second, and third year, and if it is just remembered on the 4th year, it is not possible for students to accommodate. So these are some surveys from which I came to this change project, because we have just gone through a long gap in this flipped learning. We have gone through a long gap, basically due to the pandemic situation, 2020, 2021. And really there was a breaking was needed. And that's how when in month of November, this project, change project came to us, proposed, then I thought that let us again break the ice and take it as again a new challenge for me. So I took this project as Bridge the Communication Gaps to Connect the Industry, which had a basic aim of develop and sharpen the communication and interpersonal skills among a large community of students to make them ready for diversified industries and also overall growth of placement. So the scope was here from 3rd to 6th semester students, because from 7th semester onwards their campusing interview starts. So definitely there will be we have to make the students ready within the 6th semester. And why I left the 1st and 2nd semester, because they are entirely loaded with basic science courses hugely. Also there is some communication classes there to practice in the 2nd semester and 1st semester. For that reason, we started from 3rd semester to have this project be implemented. So we have taken this thing to all BTech programs, MTech programs, and diploma programs. I have tried to do that. And the objectives were, again, the same thing: develop the communication skill, interpersonal skill, group discussion capabilities, and also develop an attitude of collaborative learning. Because many times we have seen that collaboration is kind of something which people are shy of. it's hard to collaborate. It is really difficult to make that attitude of collaborating. Generally, people start from their own thinking. It's very difficult for them to come out of themselves and talk with others and get their perception and also accommodate, negotiate, and finally come to certain solution. So this is not only that these skills are required for 21st century, but also improve writing skills, which are now again and again we are seeing that the students which is coming nowadays are not having that good writing skills on average. So 4 C's of 21st century skills that people talk about is the critical thinking, to figure out the resolution to the problems, the creativity, and which is basically coming from the divergent thinking, the communication, which comes with the conversing and engaging with the others, and also collaboration, which is all about the cooperation or synergy between each other. So all these very important skills are the called 4 C's of 21st century that people have to take out to really thrive in this today's world. So this is the justification of the project. And not only verbal, but also written, but also it should come to the body language. Basically, the communication skills is not just having good English, not just having a good attitude to talk with others, but also the body language, the confidence should come up. So that is a big process to be done. And another survey that I took from internet, that what employers really want from new hires. So basically, you can again see the same things like oral communication, listening skill, adaptability, written communication. These are the primary skills, presentation skills they really want. And then followed by the other skills that should be there as a basic skill. So I did some survey on the month of December for second, third, and fourth year students, and I got these answers. Like I asked these questions, for example, whether you are understanding a technical topic from offline lecture in English, how much it's your probability. So 5-star is less here, 4-star is more. If you just check the understanding of a content directly reading by books or notes, again you see the percentages are less in 5. Means directly getting from book, their comprehension capability is not that high. Maybe the rate of capability of understanding the technical topic by directly watching a pre-recorded video. So you see that automatically, if you are providing a pre-recorded video, or if you provide some content which is already recorded, they can see it multiple times at their own wish, at their own time, then automatically the percentage is increasing at the higher order. So comprehension, the difficulty in comprehension is shown somewhere, and if we really provide them with that opportunity, if we provide them with content, it may increase. For example, rate your capacity for asking technical understanding based questions, whether you are able to ask questions. You see, somebody have put them said at the lowest. So giving yourself a lowest degree means really you are in that problem. So student feeling the problem to ask questions. In most of the cases, in the last 2 years, we have found that in online classes, people are hardly asking questions. 2-3%, 2-3 students are probably there who are, may I ask question, but the rest are silent. They may be there, may not be there, nobody knows. So the probability of asking question has dropped very much in the last 2 years. And also, I have talked about the external audience, that's public speaking, rate your capacity for explaining a technical topic in front of public speaking. You see very less people are really feeling confident at 4 and 5-star. You see very less people. So it means that there is a need of building communication all the time, especially because of the last 2 years. So what I did, I talked with our principal sir and also the IQAC coordinator or IQAC director. That was the first meeting to propose the change project. Then I got the approval in the second meeting after they decided that yes, it is really necessary, especially after this pandemic. Although we had a flip learning technique, but that has stopped because of the physical interaction. And then we came to the level of HODs in the third meeting, where with IQAC and HODs we met and we finalized the framework, what to do. And then we discussed in the DC meetings further down, and we talked with the faculties, and ultimately we implemented the whole process for continuous evaluation. So what we did basically is this. We initially did the survey and analysis that I did myself through the students by sharing links, by telling and directing them. Proposition was a kind of delegation. The approval from my HY is again delegation by myself. Dissemination with HODs was discussion. And evaluation procedure, I created the evaluation sheets. Also, I followed the previous evaluation sheets, which were generally followed in our flip classes. And the implementation and continuous evaluation was again there, which was done by faculties and students later. And monitoring was of course done, because the data collection and monitoring is one of the most important part to really get some changes. Now you see that completion and feedback was the last part, which was again taken after the last part, but which is actually ongoing. So now, if I just look at the plan, basically our plan was to have the one seminar or webinar class every week, one GD class every week on relevant topics, maybe technical, non-technical, or current affairs or social issues. The report writing on mini projects which are already started or ongoing, or from the previous semester, whatever mini project they have done. The group formation and leadership management to really make the groups in such a way such that the whenever discussion is happening, then there should be some person who having good capability to start with, and the others may follow. So accordingly, groups were formed, and the evaluation sheet was of course made, and the complete report was planned to be done by 20th March. So the journey, I am giving you some glimpse. I could not make a video, but I just am giving you some glimpse with the picture. So this is the infrastructure, the flip classes, the digital class studio with us. 2 digital studios are there, and this is the basic picture of the flip classes, what exactly is done during the flip classes, where the students brainstorm, students discuss among each other. So I use the existing facilities. These are the presentation during the classes. The first phase, as I said, that each class was provided 5 to 10 minutes of presentation as a mandatory basis for this last 1 month. So many faculties send me their various videos, and I have given some glimpses of that. As you can see, all these are video clips actually, and these clips are converted into pictures. So this is from the computer science department, that they provided the presentation, as well as they made the brainstorming sessions, and ultimately they send me the pictures. This is from my department, the mechanical engineering department, where the students are showing how exactly they can speak in front of people. They can explain the concepts in front of people. So they tried that in various classes. For example, here are 4 classes are there. In IC engine and gas turbine, there is fluid mechanics, there is thermodynamics. So many classes are there. This is coming from the EC department. They're talking on algorithms and the branches of algorithms, as you see, and they were discussing. So all these evidences are with me. Again, it was also applied to the diploma classes. They did on the chalkboard. They explained their stress strain diagram and all these things, are very basic things over there. So the next phase, the group discussions. We had plenty of group discussion for last 1 month and even earlier. So we see that during the group discussion, the various postures of students are there, which they try to improve. Many people, many students have hesitation definitely at the initial point, but by speaking day after day, it really improves. That is a continuous practice, of course. And once they see their friends are speaking, if one of the friends are speaking good, then the others get motivated automatically. This is like peer learning. So that thing happened here also in the group discussion sessions. We also created some debates during the group discussion, and during the debates, of course, the level of debate was to that extent. We try to make it to the extent such that really that kind of collision come up. So we try to make the situation in such with some proper topic. The weekly seminars, I can provide you this journey of weekly seminars. So many students gave the seminars on various topics throughout the various weeks. For example, in 1 week, actually around 10 to 15 students or 20 students gave their seminars, and we got the results. And then finally, the public speaking. Meanwhile, we had some gatherings where students were speaking in front of public, and they actually provided some lecture on some various very common issues. It's not like always the technical speaking, but they were talked. They were say that how you're feeling, what is your journey for 3 years, for last 3 years, or for last 2 years, how we are feeling. So that kind of public speaking, we tried to make them inherent. Many people were shy initially; they were throttling. Some people could not speak at all, but still they were encouraged that okay, you say at least 1 line or 2 lines about yourself or what you did today itself. So that kind of things were done. That was the journey, very basic journey. And basically, we try to involve all these skills that is necessary for the top 10 skills of 2025, like active strategy of this analytical thinking, complex problem solving in a group job, such that they can involve their critical thinking and analysis power by having the group work, but teamwork. And also the leadership will automatically come from that. because if you have a continuous practice of that, automatically the leaders will be upcoming, be chosen. So this was a sheet that generally we do to identify the slow and fast learners in this perspective of continuous evaluation in various parameters. The parameters mostly have how you make a digital content, how you make a pitching of the digital content in the class, how you present in the class, what is your body language, what is your aptitude skills. All these things are judged in the as per the flip learning format. And your voice modulation also is judged. As you can see, the parameter 10 is the voice modulation. Based on all these parameters, we provide numbers to students, and accordingly they get a grade value. And from that, we try to find out if which student is really lacking. The student which is not present in the class for a particular class, they are not getting any marks from parameter 4 to parameter 10. And if you can see all of them are there, I mean, all the parameters are filled, then they are present in the class. Because some of the content may be also submitted if you are not present in the class, that is parameter 1, 2, and 3. So in this way, we try to make the impact in this way. Like first, initially, it was kind of ice breaking because all of their previous attitude was gone. Some students like second year have never faced flip learning because the last 2 years was completely online. Their speaking, listening skills was not at all developed. So we had to bring them up. We had to talk about the communication skills, linguistic skills by regular practice. And this is a continuous practice. Actually, we'll keep on doing because that is inside our flip learning framework already. But the leadership skill and adaptability, these are the few things which, like critical thinking, all these things are really necessary for nowadays. Like a problem is given, and if you just be occupied within yourself, you don't compare, don't talk with your co-learners, then definitely you will be losing. So that attitude must be built, and we were continuous pursuit of building that technique, building that attitude. And finally, presentation skills, because even if you are able to do everything, but if you cannot present, then all of your thinking, all of your leadership, everything is gone. So presentation is a must. So we try to do that thing completely to make the presentation by improvising the student capabilities. So all these are the project impact. Basically, the challenges, definitely we had got some inertia, reluctance from the faculty, some of the faculties, some of the students also. Definitely reluctance is there to inertia, because of the inertia, to make a change, to really incorporate 5 minutes of the class or 6 minutes of the class and really record the data. This is a reluctance was there, definitely. So we got probably around 40 to 50% of the faculties gave the data, sent their data. Some of them recorded, but they forgot. Some of them did not. So it of course happened where, because I try to do it in a overall whole institution. So, but in my department, I ensured that most of the faculties do that. And of course, the time management, because in each class, if I ask faculties to spare 5 minutes or 10 minutes, definitely the timing management will be a burden on them, but they tried, as I showed you. So extra involvements, of course, is there to record and then again send me that some data, picture taking, etc. Student variance in another problem, because many students are good for speaking. They are coming from good background, I mean, good English medium background, but many in our college are coming from rural backgrounds, very much rural backgrounds, especially from those from Bihar. They are really not having that kind of skills which we really are trying to boast. So it was very difficult for them, but it's a continuous process, but we will still looking forward, slow learners and boosting confidence into them. And also the data handling, because a lot of analysis was required. So that recording and analysis was also there. So overcoming challenges was by planning and timely execution, management approach, motivation, a continuous motivation. I try to even personally talk with many faculties, sir, please do it because it is our continuous practice, but we have lost it because of the last 2 years. Let's do it again. Let's start our usual practice, actually, not like a change project, but as a usual project for us. So I did it, and I monitored, I tried to get the data from them, and accordingly it was done. So the next phase, this is the summary. We did everything as much as possible at faculty level, dissemination, the implementation as in the routine. Especially it was implementation routine was the first important job, actually, to solve the challenges. Once it is in the routine, it was easy to make. So these were the things, and summary of the outcomes, again, the enhancement in linguistic abilities, because we found it by eyes that yes, people are developing, students are developing their idea of speaking. They were initially shy, but nowadays they are coming forward to speak. first day some person was likely to speak for 3 minutes. It took like a burden for them. For now, if I tell him, they are speaking for probably 5 minutes from their own. So that change is coming up. That growth we have seen. I'll be again giving them another feedback form. I am planning it to give it after another 2 months actually, because I've got initial direct feedback from them that yes sir, we are getting happier with this process, and we have seen that their interpersonal skills of discussing with each other and making the attitude is increasing. So as a lastly, the leadership approaches, it was mostly directing around 30%, coaching around 20%, supporting and participating around 20%, and delegating around 30%. Mostly situational leadership I had to take in all these things to be done. So that's from my side. Thank you, sir and ma'am. If you have any queries, please ask.
Yeah, that was a wonderful presentation, I must say, Shwandip.
Thank you, madam.
And your slides were also very clear, and you were very clear in expressing your ideas. One thing I was wondering whether you have conducted this project outside the college hours.
No, ma'am. Actually, we took it in the routine first. In the December month, we made the routine. And from the January, it was supposed to start the class. But what happened because of the examination problems, ultimately we could start at January end and February start. So I got only 1 month. I thought that I will get 2 months, but actually I got 1 month and some 10 days of this month, actually, to be very specific. So within 1 month and this 10 days, as per the routine we followed. In the
Okay, how many team members were there for your project in your organization?
Actually, I took everybody in the loop. I took everybody in the loop from
wonderful.
the IQC.
You have a very great leadership skill then.
I tried to take everybody because I personally called everybody. Ki, sir, please do it. I need it. Plus, please do it. At that level also.
And because, you utilize your flipped learning model also.
Yes. That was very much beneficial for me because I have the infrastructure. Otherwise, it could be very difficult because we have the infrastructure, we have the presentation and all these things there. So it was a little easier in that way. And our teachers are also knowing the facts, how to do it. So it was in that way easier to some extent.
Did you do some analysis like students prior to this project and after 1 year, 1 month, what was the result?
Yeah, I showed you one survey that I did in December, and I have actually thrown this same form to them again. But right now I have got only 10 response so far because last night only I could give it. So I am looking forward to get all this response to increase, especially the last one. As you see, initially the December month, the public speaking fear was there at the level 5. You see the level 5 and level 4, people were already thinking that I can't speak in front of people that much. So that barrier was my primary job to break. So I think that now from their faces, it appears that yes, they are getting that confidence to some extent. As you know, this is a very long process. Although I have floated again the same thing, but once I get the reflection, I can include that if it is needed.
Is this in your department only?
No, it is there. This findings is from my department. I got it.
No, you have incorporated this project only in your department.
No, I have incorporated the whole process into the institution. But these pictures are from my department's analysis. 73 responses I got from my department from 2nd, 3rd, and 4th year. 4th year is mostly out, so it is more majorly in 2nd and 3rd year actually. And they gave me this project actually that yes, I need it.
Very good, very good.
Yes, sir. And because I involved IQAC, so that's how automatically faculties had to follow certain rules and regulations.
Sandhya?
Okay, it's a very nice presentation and very nicely done project. I think as Madam Moya said, you've clearly presented your analysis also. I have a query. What was the mentoring? How did you do the mentoring for the students? How did you convince them? How did you boost their confidence? How did you make them capable of coming up and doing public speaking? What was what was the mode that was used by the teachers, by you?
Actually, what I do, even all the faculties have been instructed actually that whenever you try to motivate them, you have the access of videos. Okay, we have a lot of videos that we have made in our digital studios, and those all are motivational. How to motivate students, how to make them ready for the flip class, because initially they are not good for the flip class, they are generally for the conventional class only, they are used to with that. But to really change them to present, to communicate, to discuss inside the class, which generally they are not used to, we actually show them a lot of motivational videos whenever we find. So whenever I instructed teachers that yes, you have to make them present for at least 10 minutes or 5 minutes, or take 3 students for at least 3-4 minutes, then you give them topics of the same day, no problem. You have coached them for probably 40 minutes. Then after 10 minutes, they use any student come up and just tell about that same thing or the previous day's thing. Or you may take the first 10 minutes to just discuss the previous 10 minutes things, the previous day's findings. So it is like I try to make things easier to some extent in some places. In some cases, the motivational videos that we provide, we show, it actually tries to boost confidence that they can speak. It's not like they cannot speak. Initially, they might be shy, but they can speak. That we try to inherit them within themselves by showing motivational videos, by showing some also some methods, like it is already included in your curriculum, it is already having marks, so your marks is attached with this, so you have to do it. So some impulse should be also always there. Without any impulse or without any, I mean, some force, definitely nobody will move. So that force is always there. Marks division is always there. This flipped learning marks is actually directly going to the first 30 marks. We have 4 continuous evaluations actually: CA1, CA2, CA3, CA4. Within that, CA1 and CA3 is completely mapped with these 2. The class performance completely. The assignments have to be presented in the class itself. So accordingly, you will get marks. And the 4 class, the last 2 things are that is continuous assessment 2 and 4 are class tests. I mean, internal examination that generally have in every college. So you cannot avoid anyone. And the 4 of these marks are averaged actually at the last. So as this is averaged, so definitely they have to score in each. So there is a compulsion that they have to do it. This is the first thing. Second thing is the motivation that we do. Each class teacher is a motivator. Each class teacher is a mentor of the whole class separately. And also the mentorship process that we do, that jodi kono agar koi student lacuna mein hai, if some students are failing, his or her mentors are also pushing them in their mentorship WhatsApp group. Ki you are not present in that last class, but you have to present in the next day. Come with me, tell me that what you want to present in front of me, no problem. So we did that level of thing to really make our students ready to some extent. We are not 100%, of course, not agree. Yeah, I mean, completed, but it is a process.
Yeah, but it's a good thing. It's an achievement, and to make the slow learners do perform better, it is a difficult task, and I think a continuous process is what is required. And I think if you continue this, it's going to be a great achievement for your institution. Good job.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. We are doing
Manisha?
Okay, Sandeep, seems to be fine. Yes, communication skills are required. We need to work on the communication skills of the students. So I think you are doing a good job. It's okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
I think it depends on your institute, your students. So मुझे change management लगता है project basically you know the best that how to handle your students.
Yes, ma'am.
So you know the best how you can manage them so that you can get some improvement.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
So now
I'm stopping the share.
Yeah, you stop the share. So now it's over. I think the entire process is over. So I'll be posting the link of the quiz here in the chat window. Let me post it. See, I have posted the link to this quiz. You please go there and see whether you can access that. And I'll be closing it at 1.